you know.
Unless they need funds.
I don't know. I just think-
Okay, I'm going to call this meeting to order. Would you please rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance with us? Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any additions or deletions? Not. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of October 10th, 2022?
I move we approve the minutes of October 10th, 2022.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Moving on to reports. Councilman Moulton.
None at this time.
Councilwoman Fons.
Nothing. I just attended a Housing Authority Board meeting on Wednesday, and that's it.
Okay. Things going good up there?
Yep. We're getting them lined out.
Councilman Kincaid.
No, I have no reports right now. Thank you.
Okay. Councilwoman Nunn.
Yes, sir. The landfill, the Glen Rock Solid Waste District, also known as the landfill, had their regular monthly meeting last week, at which time information on the pit closure was reviewed. The liner material to cover that is $1.5 million. That stuff is not cheap. It was made by melting together 3 separate layers of material and is designed to resist movement down a slope. The top is covered with 36 inches of soil, 30 inches of fill dirt, and 6 inches of topsoil, which will be seeded with a wheat grass blend. Vents to monitor methane gas collection under the liner will be installed. Installation of the liner itself will soon be complete. This closure project is estimated to cost $3.5 million and is scheduled to be complete in January. Metal collection bins are in the process of being established. At present, anyone needing to dump metals, please check with the guard station to find out the current location for that material. Tires are accepted with a charge of $4, $6, or $11 per tire. This is the fee charged when the landfill takes the tires to the Casper facility for disposal. Green material disposal is still being finalized as to the place and method of handling. Tree branches must be a maximum of 12 inches in diameter, 14 inches in length. No root ball materials will be accepted as the landfill is unable to process them. Also, please check with the guard station if you have any questions or concerns before attempting to dump these materials. An ash bin will be available for disposal of this type of material soon. This closure process has been very interesting, quite technical, and very expensive. All towns in Wyoming, with the exception of the 5 designated dumping sites, Gillette, Casper, Rock Springs, Riverton, and Jackson, are going through this same process. Here in Glen Rock, we will continue to monitor and adjust the process to best accommodate the public in acceptance with the government regulations. Please remember, the landfill is an area where children need to be carefully watched, as there are areas of potential danger and areas of large vehicle traffic. Interesting stuff.
Margaret? What happened to the monitoring wells that were in the upper levels of the dump that got covered up? Were they extended up through that, or were they abandoned?
Yes, no, those wells will still be there and will still be monitored.
Because I couldn't see where they had extended that above the dirt when they were doing that.
Well,
There was two up on top I was wondering about.
They're supposed to still be monitored, Bruce, however that comes about.
Compliance, you got to do that.
Yeah, that's one of those government
There's others down below on the city's property, but there was some on top I was wondered about.
I'll ask next time we have a meeting, see for sure what's going on with the wells up there. And the dump, this is still kind of a new process. We're still kind of shuffling materials around, so please be patient till we get this set in cement.
That looks nice.
It does look nice. It's very different.
That's it? That's it? Yep.
Tammy, clerk.
I wanted to announce that the Christmas shop will be happening again this year. They will be in the Commerce Block, the same space that they've been in past years. And they will open on Black Friday and stay open until Christmas Eve. A reminder again that we have our next work session on the 7th at 5 o'clock. And then lastly, voter registration is no longer done here as of 5 o'clock today. So anybody that needs to register to vote has to go to the county to do that. That's all I have.
Kelly, treasurer.
Evening, Mayor and Council. Attended Elevate last week. Final plans are done, basically. The trunk or treat will be this Friday, starting at 3:30. Kids line up over in the parking lot by the old drugstore, which is now Copperleaf. And then the Halloween carnival's after that. And the only other event right now is Winterfest, which will be December 3rd, which is the tree lighting and hot cocoa and hopefully ice skating.
Keep your fingers crossed on the ice skating rink.
And the tree lighting.
We doing anything here?
No.
Down at-
We got lights.
Down there.
Do we have a tree?
What tree?
We got
Do we have a tree?
The Charlie
Charlie Brown tree.
One in the circle.
Okay. I have a request. I'd like to see us get a tree like they do at Davis Street, have it donated. Big one.
Dig that one up and replace it.
Yep.
Keep working on that. I'm going to go to Lyle for building inspector next.
Didn't want to forget me, huh?
I saw you hiding back there.
Evening, Mayor and Council. 128 building permits to date. The Trails apartment, they got their first 6 apartments done last week, and they moved some people in. Looks pretty nice. New appliances, new heaters, hot water heaters, paint, trim, doors, windows. They had some electrical issues. We got them straightened out, so that's looking good. The trailer.
Get the siding straightened out.
No. At least on the inside, we're straightened out.
Well, it's going to leak in there if they don't do something pretty quick.
Yeah. The trailer fire that we're trying to get demoed, they got equipment in there and absolutely no action for 2 weekends now, so they're trying to push them, see if we can't get that started again. Not sure what slowed them down. And that's about it. Got the fee schedule at the end, and that's all I got.
Okay. Any questions for Lyle? Not, we'll move on to Randy, Public Works.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The crew's been busy with street sweeping, parks mowing, garbage collection, meter reading, blowing out all the sprinklers in the parks, and installing plows and sanders on our plow trucks because we thought we were supposed to get snow this last weekend. We didn't get any. Also, just so you know, we have Bill and Kurt in training in Casper this week at a conference, water and wastewater conference. So if you don't see them, that's where they're at. That's about all I got.
Randy, I had a question for you. You said that that you received word that Glen Rock will not receive any funding other than the loan from SLIB. What funding did that affect?
That was the ARPA for the water and sewer projects we were going to try to get done. We got denied along. There was $231 million of requests put in for $50 million of money that was available. And we were put on the bottom burner along with a lot of other people.
Well, that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
We went back to Wyoming Water Development because they said
Yeah.
they would give us, we readjusted that one. They said they'd give us more money for the water transmission line through Second Street, so we may be able to go ahead and get the water line done.
What's the latest on the ice?
It's in customs. Don't know why. Still sitting there waiting to get on a truck. I called Marshall this morning and asked him. He says he's been calling and calling. He doesn't know why it's tied up in custom. They can hold it for 45 days. But he's got it scheduled for us the 28th of November to be here to set it up. So it sounds like he's planning on it being here. So
Nice to have that.
yeah,
Just
it would.
Or
And I ordered it right after the day after budget. That's what surprises me.
It's been moved back, what, almost 40 days now?
Yeah.
40, 45 days?
think they told you the 28th when we were in the workshop, when you called them.
Yeah.
So hopefully there's hold of that date. There's going to be some quick,
Unless you got some pull with the Border Patrol,
I don't know.
customs.
Yeah.
Is that going to be hard to install, Randy? Do you have any idea how
I don't think
technical
so.
this is?
From what videos I've watched of it being installed, it doesn't look like it'll be that hard.
2 or 3 days, 4 days,
I think
2
we can get
weeks?
it done in a day, and they come up and train us and help us put it together.
Is that with the rubber bumpers and everything? Is that
Yeah.
stuff? Okay.
So we can get our hands on it, we're good to go.
Yep.
Mandy, community development.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Let's see, so this Wednesday, we have our ghost story and stories down by the fire pit. So we're going to start at 6:30 with the Converse County Library at the town park. And then we're going to walk to the town square where we'll be telling stories and having treats around the fire pit. So costumes are not required, but, you know, it would be fun if people would dress up for our walk. We had coffee conversations with Hannah, and we had, I think, 4 people, including Margaret, come, and we just were talking about our community assets, and it was just a great way to have a casual conversation about our community. One of the things, you know, that I thought we'd talk about is how to make, you know, these tweens and teenagers leaders of our town square and how to engage them in positive activities. So we had a lot of conversation about engaging teenagers and preteens and how to help them. And so we got a lot of good ideas, you know, how to engage in with different activities with them. Also, Jen Womack came from the tourism board last Tuesday, and we had 9 people there talking about community events, because I think it's a great idea that we are supporters of different event planners in the community. So working together, having a way to advertise each of our events, so we're not competing against each other during events. We're helping support and cross-promote those events. So that was really fun and successful. And that's about all I have. With the ice skating rink, I know Randy and I got lots of conversations going today because Casper's not going to do their ice skating rink. So I know like the radio station's reaching out to us for updates. So Randy and I were able to get some updates out today.
You're going to have a little bit more traffic on ice skaters, probably from Casper.
I think so too, but we can have, what did you say, 90? Our capacity of 90 on our ice, so that's exciting. We can accommodate 90 people.
Jeez.
So
It'll catch the ones that fall down then. 'Cause that stuff's slick.
Mandy, why aren't they having theirs this year? What happened?
They can't
the
get a
cost.
commercial compressor.
Oh, really?
Something to do.
They're wherever their rental
Freezer, yeah.
They're quick.
where it comes from.
Chiller, it's the chiller to keep the ice at a temperature. They were not able to get the one.
Tammy, if you're going to talk, you need to come up to the podium.
We don't let it come up to the podium.
Well, that's where you got to go.
Okay. So, David Street, it's the chiller that they can't get their hands on. They went to a couple of different sources. The one that they found was going to be 3 times as much. They didn't think that was a responsible option for the town of Casper or for David Street because David Street is privately funded. So they're going to just opt out this year. That's what they announced.
Yep.
So
I think next year they're trying to look where they possibly buy one of the chillers and own one instead of renting to use them. Is what their plan is they're working towards, so.
And then I know we have a few other items of business, but I'll just wait till we get those on the agenda.
Okay.
Thank you.
Chief Felton.
Evening, Mayor and Council. Been busy the last couple of weeks, but just a few of the highlights. We did have interviews for a new employee. I'm looking at extending an offer tomorrow to the person selected, so hopefully they accept, and we'll be welcoming a new officer within the next couple of weeks if everything goes well in the background and other steps. We also had our first senior center fraud presentation. It went really well. There was pretty good attendance. A lot of questions were asked. Excited to get that going again in another couple of weeks once they get the senior center with the renovations completed, I guess. I also conducted ALICE training a couple weeks ago with the school. Went to all 3 schools, conducted training, got great feedback. We're moving forward with more training there. So in the future, don't have any dates yet, but we've got a few things lined up that we are going to be doing with that. Got out Tahoe bids for our new vehicles for the year. Those are going to be due on November 3rd. They have been in the paper for a week and a half now, I think, at least. So hopefully that goes well. And then I did have a meeting today with the school district here, the school district of Douglas, the police department of Douglas, and the county attorney's office regarding a new youth diversion program that we're looking into to help with different types of situations that our local youth are facing in order to try and help them get back on the right path.
Did you have a lot of people apply for those jobs?
Here, so I had 8 applicants.
Eight.
I mean, once it was actually the ones that we actually invited to come and test. Yeah. It's pretty tough. I mean, it's been a pretty tough decision, and right up until the end, there was 3 of them that were just, I mean, they're solid candidates, local individuals, and great backgrounds, great education. So very fortunate. That's not a problem that a lot of other agencies are having across the nation right now. So I feel very, very happy with that. And then it also a little bit of guilt, because they're great candidates that we're going to have to pass out.
Very good.
Jared, IT.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. A lot of my work the past couple of weeks was on infrastructure. I did software upgrade on our core switch stack, which is kind of a big deal to get done and just get it up to date. Also on firewalls as well. So a lot of the back end stuff. We updated the PC in the officers' quarters, as well as added a PC over to the fire hall for their I am responding screen, and added a screen over there. And then have gotten in some hardware to be able to finish some projects or complete some projects over at Town Square, like their point of sale system, their cash register. We got that in, and then cameras and stuff like that. So over the next month or two, we'll be working on getting all that stuff rolled out and get ready for ice skating and all sorts of fun over there.
Jared, is the fire department in pretty good shape technically right now?
They are. We're in the process this year. I've got money in the budget to upgrade all of their PCs. So they've got kind of a random smattering of PCs that they picked up at Walmart or Sam's Club along the way. And so we're just going to kind of get them all standardized and get some stuff, them hardware that'll be a little bit easier. They've got some that they go and hit the power button on, and it takes, a good 10 minutes for it to warm up and get ready to go. So we'll get them all squared away and should be rocking and rolling.
Good.
Did you find anybody locally to do your repairs to the
I have not.
library yet?
And to be honest, I haven't reached out to anybody yet. Today I didn't get a chance, but I was hoping tomorrow to start putting out some feelers and try to get that resolved.
Okay. Randy, you want to update everybody, the rest of the council, on the emergency change, what's going on with for our water line on 5th Street from Grove to First Elk, so that everybody knows?
Yeah, let me pull up. I just got a notification when the bid was going from Ray. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I know the bid's out, and we're having a mandatory pre-bid this Wednesday. So we'll be doing that here at 11 o'clock on Wednesday. And hopefully we can get a little enough bids, and PVC's still very expensive, so hopefully. I know Ray on their estimate was high. He told me he estimated high on the estimate to go out to bid on this, so that when we asked for the emergency funding. So, and I'm also applying to EPA. They have money out there right now because we found a couple small lead lines on this when we had leaks, and they have money for that. So hopefully we can get some of this money back and put it back.
When do you hope to start this project?
We're hoping to start within 3 weeks, but we have to do mandatory pre-bid, do the bid award, and go through all that, award it through the council, and then they have to move in. So 3 to 4 weeks.
Can they work during the winter on
Oh,
that?
yeah. It might be an open trench with rotomill for the winter, which I told them we could deal with, but we got to get this line fixed.
Just wanted everybody updated on where that was at right now. No other reports. We'll move on to items from the floor. Is there any items from the floor? Cody, you should have jumped up.
Oh, I tell you, that was a job. I'm Sharon Kemp, and hello, Council and Mayor. The trunk or treat bait trailer will be sitting next to the Copperleaf, and before they trunk or treat on Friday for the kids, and they've got lots of candy, and it's kind of like a little tiny miniature spook house. It is really fixed up cute. So we just wanted to let you know where they. Melissa Hemsley asked us or told us where to put it. So that's where we'll have it there this year. So the kids, that's where it's all going to start. So those kids will be able to enjoy that. So just wanted to let you know.
Okay.
Thank you.
Evening, folks. Cody Bish, game warden in town. Just wanted to give a shout out to the mayor and Coulter for helping the community and Game and Fish find a solution for the wildlife carcass disposal. So just going to give everybody a back story. Ever since the animal pit closed down up at the landfill, those carcasses end up still in dumpsters and end up all over the place just outside of town alongside the road and on state land. And so was able to find a solution, and it seems like it's been talked about quite a bit around town. So just really wanted to thank you guys for helping me out with that.
We want to thank you for hauling that in on a regular basis. We bought a dump trailer through the police department did, and we're working with the Game and Fish. It's parked out south, isn't it? Just up on the hill above.
Yep.
Up on South Rec on the Mormon Canyon Road, and Cody's been going out and getting it and hauling it into Casper on a regular basis. It's keeping the people from dumping it, all these carcasses on state land and in the draws and everything around town or wherever, sneaking them into garbages and dumpsters and stuff. So it was a good solution to take care of it so we don't look like a bone pile out south on the state land. It was a great idea. We're glad to partner with you.
Well, thank you. I sure appreciate it. So
Cody, is it still there?
It is, yeah. Yep.
How long will it be there till?
I haven't talked about that with Coulter too much, but I think probably run it through. We have elk seasons that go and late season whitetail that go throughout. My idea was maybe right before Christmas or something, pull it. So that's usually when all that big game hunting kind of tapers off. So,
thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Yep. I appreciate it.
Is there any other items from the floor? If not, we'll move on to new business. First item of business is Tourism Board appointment. Down here. Tourism Board Appointment Commission is wanting to appoint Candace. Do you guys have any questions for her? She is our current secretary and treasurer for the Main Street Board. Has a lot of background and experience with working with government and that, so anybody have any questions for her? You really want this sentence?
Sure.
Well, welcome.
Well, thank you.
I spoke with Kim Pexton last week, and they've reviewed it, and they had no objections. They were happy to have the application.
From Glen Rock.
I'm sure they are happy now.
So is there a motion?
I move we appoint Candace Bandetta to the Converse County Tourism Board.
Is there a motion? Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Moved and
Well, I'll
seconded. Any other
I'm
discussion?
done.
Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Next order of business is an open container permit and at the Shoreliner Bar for a retirement party in the parking lot on 12/17/2022 from 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. in the morning. Is there a motion?
I move we approve the retirement party at the Shoreliner on the 17th of December.
If there's a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Would you like to add anything to that, Kevin?
Yeah.
Or you're okay?
Is that for you?
I'm good. My last blast.
Well, we hate to see you retire, buddy, but you deserve.
9 years in the business.
You deserve it. Yeah. Is there any other discussion? If not, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Next order of business is Glenrock Main Street, nonprofit organization. You guys are coming in to ask for a allocation.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Already to work.
Pardon me?
Already to work, right?
Yes. I'm with, my name is Candace Bendetta. I'm the Secretary Treasurer of the Glenrock Main Street nonprofit organization. We are basically committed to restoring and revitalizing our downtown district of Glenrock. We are a group of volunteers. We have a very active board. We were just created beginning of the spring. We've basically been working at Town Square all summer, just getting started. We're working on getting a vision survey out to our community to find out exactly what the community would like in downtown. Our board has a lot of ideas of what we would like to do to revitalize the downtown, bring people downtown to shop and to use to visit our restaurants, our bars, our historic features of Glenrock. We have ideas of ways to promote Glenrock and working with the community and the town. We are basically asking at this time for this fiscal year about an allocation of about $7,500. We have a budget that we put together of about $14,000 worth of projects that we would like to do. We would like to supplement the money that if we get anything from the town, with grants. And we also, since we are a nonprofit, we can also enhance those funds with donations for the projects that we would like to do.
What projects are you talking about?
So we really want to ask the community what they would like to see, but basically beautifying our downtown. Examples would be crosswalks, murals, benches, places. We want to really build on the positive experience that everybody had at Town Square and actually try to get them to come downtown. We have an idea to do a shop small weekend for Christmas, and we want to start that on Black Friday in conjunction with the Christmas shop and continue it through Small Business Saturday. So we want to promote that and promote our businesses. We're going to be going door to door to our downtown businesses and asking them to participate so that we can help advertise and get people to come downtown as well. So other examples of projects, we want to do some more signage. We want to work with the historical group to really identify and promote our historic features around the town and help get signage, work on scavenger hunts or geocaching. There's other ideas that we have to get people to experience Glenrock.
Have you considered anything with the Rock and the Glen?
Yes. We actually, when we defined our district, we included our downtown district from the Rock and the Glen all the way to 2nd Street. And then on the north and south side, we include the town square up to some of the shops and the library. That area is our downtown district. So we included the Rock and the Glen because we think there's opportunities to do some things there. And because we work with Wyoming Main Street and the Main Street America, you have to define your district. So that's why we made our district pretty broad, because we want to be able to get grants to do projects in that area.
So I see here on your budget, that is your budget for 2023. The city budget actually starts on July 1st.
Correct.
So this would be for the July 1st?
No, this would be from now until the end of this fiscal year, so until June 30th.
So additional funds. You need money now.
We need money now. We were just really created this year, this summer, so we're just getting started. We're just getting organized. We have a board of directors. So we're looking to actually start implementing projects at this point.
So are you receiving the profits from the beer sales down at the town square this summer?
We give all the money to the town. Everything that we earned was deposited into the town funds.
And that was $2,500?
Actually, for the whole summer, it was about $5,100, maybe $5,000, including June.
Profit?
Profit. No, yes, profit.
So wouldn't that money be sufficient to just get you rolling without an additional grant until we get to the new year of July 1st?
Well, we don't have that money. You have, the town has that.
If you had that money, would you still need the $7,500?
Well, based on our estimates of what we would like to achieve, that's why we came up with the $7,500, because we thought maybe we could match that. So our budget is about $14,000, and our goal is to get matching funds for any money that the town provides. We're going to be very aggressive with that.
I thought one of the main benefits of being in Main Street, at least when it was operated before, was that it gave you access to many very appropriate grants to apply to your specific kind of projects.
It does.
Have you investigated any of those?
Yes.
Get a chance to get into those?
Yes, we have. We've investigated the tourism board. We've already received a couple grants from Wyoming Main Street for education and conferences. I went to a conference and they paid my way. Because we're just getting started, we're trying to learn, and we learned a lot at the conferences of what we can actually achieve as a Main Street, and got some really great ideas brainstorming with other Main Street organizations. But there are grants. We've talked to several consulting firms at these conferences about grants, and we're actively exploring those. So absolutely. I have some experience in grant writing. When I worked for county government in Baltimore, and was able to match every county dollar with a grant, and that's our goal.
So I'm still wondering what your projects are that you came up with this $4,000 figure, capital improvement projects.
So the capital improvement projects are permanent structures, so things that would be permanent, like a mural. We have an estimate on a mural that we would like to do, maybe on the Baldwin Alley. That's one option that's been thrown out because you can actually see it from Town Square. So we'd like to work with the owners and try to get a grant through the mural grant program. But the mural could cost anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000. So again, we're asking for $4,000 to try to match. And if we have to do it in stages, if we have to do partial this fiscal year and then finish it next fiscal year, we're aware of that as well.
I think the murals are a good idea. We've talked about that in the past. And
yeah.
Also the facelift for the town, the benches and things downtown.
Yes.
Just make it more attractive.
Well, and that's really what those capital projects would be.
And complement the square.
Yes. And we want to build on the momentum because the town square was so successful and so many people came down to the square on Friday nights that we want to keep them coming downtown. But we have to provide something for them to do.
Have you looked into anything to do with our tree problem? We have dead trees, weeds in trees, trees that aren't really appropriate to be in where they are. Have you done any investigating how to clean that mess up?
Not yet. I mean, we have a whole list of things, but again, we really want to get out to the community and really get their input so that the community will be supportive of the projects. And maybe we can get partners that are going to maintain those structures that we can put in. Because we have to have partners. And that's really the whole Main Street approach. There's a 4-point system, and part of that is working with your stakeholders, your partners, getting volunteers, recruitment. We have a board of 7 people right now. That's very active. We meet once or twice a month. We have a lot of great ideas, but we really want to get out to the community now.
Who are you looking at for partners right now? Do you have any specific targets?
We have a lot of partners listed that we want to work with. Boys and Girls Club is one of those partners. There's the different groups that are already active in Glen Rock, like the historical preservation group. We've met with them because that's really one of our goals is to build on the history that's here in Glen Rock because there's a lot. and I don't think a lot of people know about it.
Are you going to move that beautiful Pony Express sign?
I don't know, but
It's
Pony
so-
Express is I think that's a big attraction. We need to build our brand in Glen Rock. What's going to bring people to this town? So we've bounced around some ideas, but we really want to hear from the community at this point.
Have you contacted the museum?
Yes. We want to work with the Paleon, those are our partners as well, and Deer Creek Museum, absolutely. And the Tourism Board of Converse County. And that's why I wanted to be part of that board, because I think there's a lot of information that can help and we can work together with them. We also work together with Elevate. We've met with them several times and we want to be partners. And because our basic goal is the same, and that is to improve Glen Rock and bring people to Glen Rock.
You know, the Main Street that was here before did do a lot of projects that did clean up the town a great deal. I mean, it's not done, but they did do a good
Yes,
job
they
of
did.
starting. They did a lot of nice work in town.
And we have Mandy's been helping me get a lot of the history, what was done, what their list was that they didn't get to finish. So we're looking at that as well. So we're gathering, we're still in the gathering phase, but now we're ready to start an implementation. That's really our goal at this point.
May I ask a question? Do we have any idea how much the Christmas shop brought in last year? Okay, because that line item, that money goes to the Main Street line item, so that could possibly be some additional.
That's what, the 10% profit of the profits that we collect back from that,
It's 10% of the profits, plus everybody that signs up pays a fee of some kind, and that goes to the town. We take some expense, we pay for some of their expenses. So it's whatever
and we do have two other line items in the budget that can be drawn from, because that works well with Main Street, is our facade grants and the sidewalk grants and stuff also.
So that's
another
already
place that,
in there.
you know, if something comes up, there's monies there that you can come ask for to use for downtown improvement also. We were looking at the monies in the budget today. Right now there's about, what was it, Kelly, 4,000 in, between the money that we started with for Main Street, that was a line item, and what the beer sales is, it comes to about $4,000 we can put together. The other, if we're going to go 7,500, that would be an allocation that we would have to do somewhere before the end of the year, a budget allocation because it would have to come out, some of it would have to come out of unappropriated funds.
Okay.
So if we have had that 4,000 and we have $5,000 profit from the sales of the beer down in the park, that's
No,
not.
that part of that was the beer sales and part what's left in the Main Street line item. So it came just over $4,000.
So that would be almost $8,000 that's available right there, correct?
I don't think that adds up to that, does it? No, you and I added it up today, and it just came to just over 4,000.
Yeah, that's just from the beer sales for this fiscal year. The $5,000 was what we earned in June, July, and August, the whole summer. And I know part of that is the previous fiscal year, of fiscal year 22. Opening weekend was our big weekend. So it was about 5,100 for the whole summer, about half in June and half in July and August.
But yeah, the monies that were back in the last fiscal year would have to be reappropriated, which would be a budget amendment or a budget out. Would have to be done under a resolution sometime later in the year to be able to draw that money. That part of it that was in the last fiscal year. So.
Can we still vote on it tonight?
Yes, we've been going over this. I can read this. We do have the agreement. The agreement says is between the town of Glen Rock, Wyoming, hereafter referred to as the town, and Glen Rock Main Street, a Wyoming nonprofit corporation. Purpose the town to authorize by section 35-1-614B of the state of Wyoming statutes to contract with private agencies and community boards to provide human services programs for persons within its jurisdiction. Provision of the services, Glen Rock Main Street hereby agrees to provide the following services to the Glen Rock community during the following period of time. Town Glen Rock fiscal year 2022 through 2023. We strive to preserve the historical features while enhancing the economic vitality of the downtown Glen Rock. We focus on making Glen Rock an exciting place to live, work, and visit. Payment to consideration of the agreement of Glen Rock Main Street to provide services described herein for a period described herein. The town agrees to pay a total amount not to exceed, not right now, I believe it's set at $7,500 because that was left open. Effective date termination, the agreement shall be effective from the 24th day of October 2022 and shall continue till the 30th day of June 2023, at which time the contract shall terminate. The agreement may be renewed for an additional 1-year increments by mutual written agreements between the parties unless otherwise canceled by either party, providing a 30-day notice during the contract period. Reporting and accounting, Glen Rock Main Street agrees that it will report to the town with regard to all activities for the year in accordance with the requirements of the agreement. In addition, the financials and accounting records and accounts of the organization shall be open and available for inspection by officers or designated agents of the town upon reasonable notice and during normal business hours for the purpose of examining the same to assure compliance with the obligations of this agreement and applicable statutes and regulation. Insurance, Glen Rock Main Street shall procure public liability insurance in the sum of not less than $100,000 per person and $300,000 per occurrence. Said insurance shall be underwritten by an insurance company authorized to do business within the state of Wyoming. Indemnification, the Glen Rock Main Street shall indemnify and hold harmless the town against any and all damages to property, injuries, or to death of any persons, or shall defend, indemnify, or hold the town harmless in proceedings of any nature of any kind, including workers' compensation claims or by anyone whomsoever is in any way resulting from or arising out of the operations of connection herewithin. Payments of debt, the Main Street agrees to promptly pay as they become due all claims and debts and charges which may occur in the results of the programs here contained, shall hold and save the town harmless from any such claims and debts. This date, which would be the 24th day of September 2022. So, is there a motion?
I am. I think we should move to approve the Main Street allocation request for $7,500.
There's a motion and a second. I need a second. Okay, any more discussion on this allocation?
How much?
75.
No, sorry. I'm trying to, how much can we approve or allocate to them without doing a budget?
We'd be right about the 4,000 mark without doing a resolution, but we can do a resolution for the balance.
You can do the resolution. You just have you can give them 7,500, but you'd have to do a resolution for the balance of it before the end of the fiscal year in June of 23.
Places to get that from.
True, or it could be looked at different places in the budget that haven't been spent, depending on what our budget activity is by the end of the year. So money could come from somewhere, but it's still going to have to be appropriated. No matter where you get it, it has to be appropriated because it was not budgeted for the fiscal year.
Right. I think
there will have to be an allocation. There will have to be a resolution to take care of it, and then next year during our normal budget time and allocation time, they would be contacted to figure out what they're looking for in allocations and make an allocation request to the town for during the budget sessions in the town approving its new budget for 23-24. So that's how that would go.
I just think it's
any other questions or comments?
It's a good plan to get you kick-started, get going.
I always liked what Main Street's purpose is for working in our downtown community, and if everybody works on it right, and it's a great benefit for Main Street to work with Elevate, which is the Chamber of Commerce and GEDC. All three of them would very much complement each other.
So would it be better to motion to pay them money that we don't have to amend, and then also in the motion say, as funds come available to
No matter what, if funds come available, whatever, you're still going to have to do a resolution.
budget amendment?
You're still going to have to do a budget amendment. You have no choice because it wasn't budgeted. So the addition of over that 4,000 would have to be in a budget amendment, which is simple resolution by the treasurer to do and read and voted on. But it doesn't have to be done till, like I say, it can happen now, or it can, down in the next meeting or that, or it can wait till almost the end of the year because there's other things that may come up that we've had to do resolutions and allocation adjustment before the end of the year for the operation of the budget.
So if we can get them $4,000 immediately without any money wiggling around, that should give them a sufficient start to get their feet under them and get going. And when that runs out, then would be the time to possibly review the need for more money based upon your projects and the things you need to do. Would that be fair enough?
Margaret, the motion was made for 7,500, so we have to vote on that first.
That first, okay. Sorry.
No problem.
I was confused too. It's all right. I was confused too.
It is confusing because there is monies, because you're actually taking monies out of the revenue side, and by rights it wasn't allocated or made part of the budget to go towards an allocation either. So most of the whole thing would have to be an allocation, a budget resolution to move it back to the debt side to pay it out.
But you have to vote on this first.
Well, we have to
because you
vote on
need
this
a
first
motion
before we do any
for this.
resolution. So either way, the town's still going to have to do a resolution to allocate that money at some time between now and the end of this year's fiscal year, which is before June 30th, 2023. So it's been a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next resolution is a resolution number 2022-14, resolution authorizing submission and application to the Wyoming Business Council under the Business Ready Community Grant and Loan Program for the Business Commitment Project on behalf of the governing body of the town of Glen Rock. We've approved this. What this is a adjustment to the town's 10% commitment to the project since the first entry of this to the state Land Investment Board and the Business Council. We've had some adjustments in numbers and the building and the cost from CEPI. So we've gone from $3,550,000 to $3,776,642. So we're increasing the allocation from the town, or the commitment from the town, from $355,000 to $377,006. Yeah, spit it out. But it increased by about $20,000 is what we've added to it. That's what the guys.
We're all right.
No, you can have discussion when we ask for discussion, okay?
Yeah.
So the change in this is to increase the town's 10%, add to the Wyoming Business Council grant that we are working on. So is there a motion?
I move we approve resolution number 2022-14.
Motion, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
We've got it figured out.
Have we gotten anywhere on this? Has it been submitted or just still in the process?
No, it's been submitted. They will be here November 1st for the site visit. So
And that's
we're moving
where we'll
forward.
get a chance to talk with them again. it's like we need to talk to them. This is not a grant or money going into Joe McGinley Manufacturing and Innovations. It's not going in Joe McGinley's hand. It's a grant for the town of Glenrock to build this facility and for a big improvement of economic development in the town of Glenrock. And that's what we need to drive home to the Wyoming Business Council for the purpose of that building and the equipment that is needed to make it work, and see if we can't kick them off center, because there has been some pushback from the Business Council and part of their staff fighting some stuff on this. But hopefully we can convince them that amount of money to build this project, the number of new bid jobs it'll bring here to this town, and the wage scale is above what the state is looking at, and that they pay out, that's been looked at statewide, and I have a problem with what the state looks at compared to what they're paying here, because it's not apples to apples, because McGinley Manufacturing is paying those people way above the state standard of what should be paid. So it's a great win. The number of possibly new families living here, and especially the amount of money that will turn over here, is very much economic development. And I haven't seen, and that's a company that wants to move into aeronautics and defense building manufacturing, which is a big diversification of the states wanting to do. And I would think that the state of Wyoming Business Council would want to look at this, because they're the ones that trying to come up with new ideas and innovations, and that aeronautics and defense was a big one with the Business Council. And McGinley is one of two companies in the state of Wyoming that went to the Business Council and got the certifications to be able to do this. So hopefully we can convince them to give us that loan and see if we can improve that, because the money that I haven't seen many companies want to come in that want to pay you a lease of $5,000 a month for 5 years and then pay off a balance of over $3 million. Have no problems with that happening. So it's a great improvement for us.
If we can encourage this business, they in turn may be able to attract a lot more other
the satellite
businesses
that would come along with that would, and we can, the use of our business park and some of the mapping of what we're doing out there for some other properties and stuff, where we could help some of those businesses with some of that property to come in and build other businesses and bring other people. It's a new diversification for something in the state of Wyoming. So I think it would be a win-win situation. So
very good paying jobs.
Yes, it's been a long process over the last year for Mandy and I and Kim and the ladies from McGinley Manufacturing and Innovations, the time we've spent putting all this stuff together and getting it before the Business Council. So if there's no other questions or comments, I'll ask for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Let's see, what's the next one? Okay, the next one is Resolution 2023-22-23, a resolution providing hiring a grant writer for the purpose of applying for funding through the EPA Assessment Grant Fund Program. Whereas the town of Glenrock, in conjunction with the city of Douglas, Commerce County, and interested in applying for the funding through the EPA Assessment Grant Funding Program, whereas the process requires to apply for such a funding is extensive, requires significant expertise and very short timeline. It would be in the best interest for all parties involved to hire a professional grant writer to assist, whereas the cost of the professional grant writer could be approximately $9,000. Therefore, be it resolved that the town of Glenrock approves up to $3,000 for the portion of hiring a professional grant writer to assist in the application of funding through the EPA Assessment Grant Funding Program, adopted and approved and passed this 24th day of October 2022. We need a motion.
I move that we pass Resolution 2223.
Motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Discussion. The purpose, we'll spend approximately $3,000, but there's a good possibility that we will get over $330,000 or better out of this to use for either doing Brownsfield stuff for asbestos and paints in different businesses and buildings in town and for the town, and or writing studies for what's the best direction to move with our economic development downtown. The money can be used for anything that we want to do, then it's for directly what we would get would be for the town of Glen Rock, only to be used the same way for Douglas for what they want to do. You don't have to do studies that include all three together. So there's a good possibility of getting a pretty good shot of money, because what they're going after is $1 million right now.
This is a very technical type of grant.
Oh, very technical.
You need a very technical, savvy grant writer to
And
dot the i's.
Yeah,
and cross the t's.
they've gotten some money before, so their grant writer knows what the ins and outs of this. So I think it's
And they work fast.
amount of money is worth the possible return to the town of Glen Rock for the future and doing economic development, and you're helping with studies to help upgrade and new ideas for the strategic plan for the town of Glen Rock for the next 25 years.
Well, this is another one of those areas, someone's going to get this money, and Glen Rock might as well get their share of it if they can.
Yeah. It's a pretty cheap for $3,000 to possibly get 100 times over what we're spending. If we can get $330,000, it'd be great.
I just want to add to this grant, the assessment grant. If we do phase 1, phase 2, which is, identifying properties, the possible history of contamination, then the second would be, identifying the contamination. And if we find that we need to do cleanup, we're 90% likely to get another no matching grant for a cleanup phase.
And a business is not going to come in here if they don't have clean property to start
Exactly.
with.
This is huge for redevelopment of these brownfield properties.
And the Brownsfield stuff for properties, we're looking at the property the town owns. We have to, whether it's renovated or if it's torn down, we still have to remove all the hazardous material one way or the other before it's either torn down or redone and improved. So it's a win-win for us for possibly getting most of it paid for with grant money instead of taxpayers' dollars out of our budget. Any other discussion on this? If not, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Next order of business is second reading of the Town of Glen Rock's ordinance number 736, amending to building permit fees. Lyle, have anything to say?
Not really, unless you guys have any questions.
Is there a motion for second reading?
I move we approve second reading of ordinance 736.
There's a motion, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion on the fees? If hearing no discussion, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Next order of business is bills and claims. Is there a motion to pay our bills and claims?
I move we pay our bills and claims.
A motion to pay bills and claims. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Everybody get their stuff answered earlier today, or everybody's okay? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Before we call for a motion to adjourn, is there anything else to come before the council tonight in this business meeting? Hearing none, I'll ask somebody to make a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn this meeting.
There's a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. This meeting's adjourned.